a valiant attempt, 43 HP to play with. But will it be enough?
Yeah, Electronic has played this perfectly. Just goes for the flank, finds his third headshot of the round, and already showing why I'm hyping him up as much as I have been since the beginning of the series. Really, obviously, going to be a hot property one day. Either way, they have started off strong. Dignitas are going to come straight back with those pistols, and we saw them make this work previously on Nuke, so not counting out just yet. Of course, looking for some heavier CT-sided rounds, and well, Little's got to be very careful there. It actually takes some damage. I thought that looked like it was very close to his head. Obviously, a little bit of RNG still comes into play with the Deegs.
A Valve game? RNG? Never. But of course, rolling into this one, it's going to be Dignitas looking to try and make something happen with his Eagles at least. They've already tacked down Little, as we acutely put on to 67 HP. They still have a long task ahead, and MSL will try and take down Kutcher. The shot won't land. He will get away unscathed. And now they're going to be aware that someone is lurking over towards those watery regions, looking to get themselves an advantage on short range. Kutcher going to be repeat the jump, once again getting away unscathed. Playing with death though, because eventually MSL will hit the shot, will take his head off. And that'll be when the uncomfortable situation will present itself. But of course, we're looking at Cajun B now. He's edging his way up towards the A site. The one thing Dignitas have done is they kind of worm their way into these close angles, where the potential for them to pick up some frags and explode on two of these sites definitely exists.
Yeah, of course, the setup not too bad over towards B at the moment, but quite heavily invested. Of course, rotation's very quick for both teams, so I don't see like that could be too much of a problem. Electronic, was he spotted there? It's always sort of difficult when you have the X-ray on the wall hacks in play, but either way, it's going to be two quick frags. Magic stepping up with the, the Tech-9 just going ham, taking down 3 players, stepping up massively to start off this round. And we spoke about them winning this previously. It looks like they're about to do it again, unless we can see something crazy come out from Spaz, who had the majority of the HP. Instead, we're just seeing Magix go absolutely ham here. He finds 4 kills. Chopper, he has 5 HP. Of course, the decision here is to run away. And Magix, well, we know how much this guy can go absolutely ridiculous at times. He started this one off pretty damn well.
He is going to be denied his ace though, so perhaps a little bit more of a disappointing factor for him. He's picked up 4, won't be able to make it 5, but a huge impact nonetheless for him in this round. Chopper going to be trying to get away, making sure that he won't be taking any more damage from the ball, of course. And while the Deagle of MSL going to be ruining his dreams, he's going to be hitting the deck, and MSL will walk away with the rewards of finding that frag. And well, the key thing about that one is the fact that now they get to walk away with 3 rifles, albeit still a handful of Famises. There is 1-4 in the M4 in the mix. But the key amount, look how much money that's going to save them. That's going to give them a decent amount of money taking into that 4th round, which means even if they do lose this round, they're going to have something at least to play when they go for that save. The opportunity to get an AWP up in their next buy round after the save as well.
I don't think there's any real problem with them losing this round. It would have to be some pretty big mistakes for them to make. I don't see it happening. They've been pretty good against Anti-Eco so far. Yes, the 5.7 and Armors along with a buy has done quite a bit, but the actual straight up USPs, they did make one mistake on the Nuke map, but it's not the same. They know this map much, much better. Even Magic, I know SK used to absolutely love, like the old SK, obviously, used to love playing this map, so he's going to be feeling right at home on this. And yeah, I don't feel like they should be going into this one fearful at all, and as said, I feel like it's important, especially with the next 2 games coming up, that they win this one and then can sort of get themselves rolling.
Well, if they win this one, they can be a little bit more relaxed against a team such as Team X, who said arguably one of the hardest games they're going to be playing today. It will give them just a little bit of more bounce back room instead of relying on winning their next 2 games, of course. And well, this is one thing I've learnt on after some certain Moses-based incidences, that 100% factors never quite what we want to lean towards. So of course, these pistols, they certainly more than likely won't be picking up this round, but the potential for them to find a couple of frags will exist at least, and it's going to be Chopper playing very much close to Config and Magic, so we'll separate them. Well, he's already trying, we'll find one, won't be able to find the second, the Magic will take him down in the end, but 1 frag nonetheless. Config has fallen. Now they're quickly rolling on towards that side. MSL going to find one for himself. They are being knocked down one by one, and as eventually predicted, they only managed to find 1 frag. It will be Config who falls, but thanks to the money, not only of winning that round, but also just aided slightly by the picked up rifle in the rounds before, he has £5,500 to play with.
Yeah, plenty of money across the board for the T side. Not the same on that CT side, and Little, he will have enough for the AWP, which is something we don't see on the T side just yet. I feel it may come in the next round if things don't pay off, but this is the peak that we talk about, and Little going to miss the shot, and that's the difference. I feel Oscar in that scenario would never miss. He just does not miss those shots. Hits it every single time. That's why he's hot property at the moment, and, well, sort of being linked to quite a few teams, as well as Simple being linked to most teams under the sun. Either way, it's going to be a little bit more difficult now for Little to actually find these opening frags. He's still around the toilets area, but not really in such aggressive position, although he will go for a repeat. But you can see the smoke's being used quite smartly by Dignitas. They still have a couple for when they actually take the site, but they're just trying not to allow him any sort of knowledge, any sort of peek. And in fact, they're going to go rotating all the way back over towards the B site, where they still have 2 players waiting with the bomb.
A very smart decision indeed, and this is where things could be absolutely lethal for the NokSuKao side. They have to hold this one off, and it's all going to be on these 2 players, Chopper and Spaz. Will they be able to stop this push from rolling in? They have an SMG in hand, a pistol in hand as well. Those 2 rifles in the AWP actually delegated over towards the A site, and this is where things could turn into an absolute bub-off. Now the push can be rolling in. Chopper will go for a peek, not going to find a single frag at all as Casper will take him down. And now Spaz, that last man standing over towards the B site, albeit the rotate has come in. So there is one more player to help him out. It will be Kutcher. He will try his best, finds one respectively. Spaz looking for another. Little finds a pick with the AWP though, down from above. And now suddenly it's one man playing. He's got the bomb down. He's going to be ticking away, but it's all on MSL, and when that smoke fades, it's going to be a very awkward circumstance indeed. He's going to be looking around for a frag now, looking for at least one, but he's not even going to find that. Kutcher will take him down, and they are going to walk away with the round, bringing things straight back to a 2-2 scenario.
Very smart from Kutcher, actually. He sort of used Spaz as a bit of a distraction to find a couple of kills earlier on in that retake, but once it came down to, well, just him and MSL on the actual site, he didn't peek until MSL came to him, so he always had the aim advantage, and then there was that factor of Electronic coming in from the flank anyway, so they always had that round under control, and I think that retake was actually very, very smart from the CIS team. And well, as said, we now see that AWP coming in onto the T side as well, which does mean that if Cajun can get there quickly, he can counter any sort of aggression. But actually, the aggression is switching up, and that's something I do have to give props over to Little. He's not very, well, consistent in the places he peaks, which is a good thing. However, it looks like Cajun has that under control, and I have no idea how that wasn't a kill. It slightly clipped the wall. He must have flicked at the very last second, because it looked like he was dead on there.
Doesn't quite work out in his favour. Little will get knocked down to 20 HP though, so that's going to be a key factor, because now a single shot from practically anything will end his day.
A Glock to the foot?
A Glock to the foot? Maybe
No.
It could be a little bit worse. I'm thinking maybe it'll be a little bit better of a situation than them relying on purely Glocks to the foot here, Tom. But of course, it's going to be Conflict looking to get himself down through the connector there in towards sewers, looking to find a frag, but MSL, he's there ready and waiting. And you have to ask the question, for Dignitas heading towards A or B site, in my situation, I'd much prefer them to kind of worm their way through toilets here and look towards a split on towards A, because they can force 2 of these A players off straight away, because Electronic, they're pushed up very far up, and well, if Little and Electronic miss these shots, it could prove to be brutal indeed, but the spray down's going to be rolling in. Electronic will fall. He has missed the shot. Now Little looking to get away here. The nade going to be thrown out, will do some damage. The Conflict, he's going to spot him out, go for the pre-fire, will miss the shot in the end, but it doesn't matter because consistency is key. He finds the frag, and now it's all on Kutcher, tagging away with the M4, trying to keep the dream well and truly intact. But is it going to be enough? He's found 2, looking to make it 3. Conflict, he's got 9 HP. A very bleak situation indeed, but the nade from Cajun B is going to take him out. And it's all
MSL.
on Spaz and Chopper.
MSL, he's got to do this pretty quickly, but it shouldn't matter too much because his flank is absolutely perfect. He's going to come around behind both players, should jump up here. He's only got a matter of seconds, so he needs to do this quickly, but he pushes out, finds both. Great flank from MSL, closes down the round, and that really, well, it started with just a slight miss crosshair placement coming out from Electronic. You know that he was waiting to try and hold that head, but it does dip a little bit, and he wasn't quite in the right position to find that headshot. So, well, MSL leaving it close, only 10 seconds left on the clock, but he pushes in behind, finds both headshots of the remaining players, looking in the wrong direction, and saves the round for Dignitas. And now, well, this buy is not one I expected to see. That's the peak that we wanted to see before from Little, but he's on a glass cannon off. He's got pistols behind him. Clearly don't want to eco at the moment on the CT side, which is definitely understandable. And, well, they've made it work in the past, so I guess there's some sort of a factor there saying, okay, maybe you could go for this one, but it still has high risks behind it.
The problem is when they made it work in the past, they had a handful of rifles mixed in, as well as the AWP raining down shots from above. But when we see this all in towards B, it doesn't appear they've got the information just yet. Little is not in position to rain down those shots. Those 2 pistols being mowed down by Config. He's looking to find himself a 3rd. He will do just that. Potentially able to find a 4th. Little trying his best to deliver those shots, but he's going to be taken down by Config, who's just tapping away consistently over and over again. He's found the 4 frags, looking to make it 5, and there's 1 man left. It's all going to be on Electronic. He has picked up the AWP, but what can he do here? He needs to find 4 more frags. The bomb going to be ticking away. He has no time. He has no kit. He only has 1 man and one flashbang.
Yeah, he's waiting around the corner. Config looking for the ace, and well, it's going to be denied. Denied. As Electronic now, he's found that one frag and he's trying to flee away. The only problem is that MSL, he just seems to be reading this absolutely perfectly. It seemed until Electronic changes his mind and actually goes back towards short and towards toilet. So he may just get away with this rifle. It seems like they are pushing together here, and if they can take it out of his hands, that would be wonderful, and they will just that. Magisk is going to find that kill. No AWP for the next round, even a little bit of BM thrown in at the end. But now they have to save, and that's sort of the thing they went for. They went for that extra round because Little could afford an AWP. It doesn't pay off, mainly because the config just turned into some sort of turret. It was almost like a robot just sort of locking onto each target, just going boop, 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 everyone dead.
Pretty much is just the popping effect coming full circle. 2-4 will be the scoreline. Now with Dignitas looking to take this one a fairly easy stride over the hands of NokSuKao, is all they have to play with. Oh, these USPs and light pistols. Already it's going to be MSL looking to try and make the best of things with the MAC-10, looking to make some money. Magic will find himself one as well. Electronic just spamming away with the USP, but it's not going to be enough. Not a single player is low, aside from MSL, who does eventually get knocked down to 40 HP. But it's not going to be enough, as MSL's still allowed to find himself another frag on towards Kutcher. And now there's one man left. One little man with one giant task ahead of him. A 1 versus 5. A very dark situation, but he will manage to find a frag on towards MSL. Gets himself a MAC-10.
It's not happening. It's just not happening. MSL went for a very aggressive push there because he had a MAC-10 left in hand. The rest of the players should play this a lot more methodically and just peek out for these positions. If Little can get a frag even with the MAC-10, that would be very valuable for him. But he doesn't even have a chance in this round. The only thing he can do is lower the money of the T's and make a bit of money himself.
Of course, he's going to be doing just that. Finds a second frag, takes down Config, will walk away with the rifle and keeping that flashbang intact. Found 2 frags. He's done what was mostly considered the unexpected. It is enough, and well, now he's going to be paying the price of that one, as he will be able to help out his teammates somewhat. With $5,000 in the bank for him, he can drop that rifle, potentially buy up an AWP, or he can just do the smart option here, is what I'm going to say, and just drop this rifle, help out a teammate, and keep some money in the bank.
I think...
I'm not a fan of the glass cannon AWP right now on CT side. Not in this situation.
I don't mind it. I actually don't mind it at all, because he is the AWPer for the team. Either way, if he takes a hit at this beginning of the round, then things don't work out. The flashbang is nice. They know that this is now going to be coming in. But for him, he's an AWPer. He wants his AWP. It just shows he's playing confidently. Unfortunately, he will actually miss the shot, but it doesn't matter, as Electronic has actually traded the first kill onto Cajun. Little being pushed up, but yeah, I can't blame any AWP player on being confident in the AWP.
True, but glass cannon in this scenario,
they have to hit the first shot either way. So if they miss the first shot, they're normally dead. So what has he got to lose? The only thing is he'll get aim punch now. But I really don't have a problem with an AWP player feeling confident enough in their AWP.
That's certainly an interesting point. But of course, 1 minute 10 on the clock. We are going to be looking to see if he will be able to find himself a couple of frags with that AWP. The pressure is certainly going to be mounting on his shoulders, as well as the rest of his teammates. Dignitas, we've got 4 men still standing, so it's going to be a fairly equal situation at that. Little knockdown to just 51 HP. The clock going to be ticking down even further. 50 seconds coming up on the board now. Dignitas, they have to decide where they want to be hitting. You do have to look over towards where Casper is. He's lying in wait over towards the B site, just biding his time. Got the bomb in hand, and already Little going to be making the work. Takes down Config. So a 1-man advantage will swing back into their favour. But now, when will Dignitas choose to buy it? When will they decide to try and opt to go on towards this B site? That is the big question. With 30 seconds left, surely they have to go soon.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of time. It's pretty much guaranteed that they will be going towards this B site, and I'm just waiting to see Magisk make his rotation. The flashbang will come in, but already there's 2 players over towards this site, ready and waiting. Chopper, he's been very quiet in the map before, but there is Little. He doesn't care if you don't like the AWP, because he likes it, and he's found himself 2 kills now. It's going to be Casper going for the plant. Chopper going to go out with the peek with a very aggressive one, and he actually finds the second shot through the wall. So great work there from Chopper. Closes out the round, and well, I think Little may have proved you wrong there.
Well, I'm glad he proved me wrong. I'm glad he stepped up to the mark, because one of the biggest things about this game is that you can pull anything out of the bag. You can try and make the best of any situation. And, well, the nice thing is you can look at a situation and go, oh, I think this is wrong. But then other people will do something completely crazy and will make anything basically doable. And I'm really glad that he has just done that. He's finding himself at a 7-4 stat line. So he is going to be looking to do the work.
Throwing you under the bus. Well, I'm enjoying myself.
It's not about throwing each other under the bus. It's about understanding that every single player has a different way of thinking about things in CounterStrike. You can apply different knowledge, different styles, and you can see how it comes into play. And a little, clearly his style, he's making it fairly known to be aggressive, just hopping around the place, armor or not finding the frags. And will Electronic trying to follow similar suit? We'll find one. But as he lands towards that jump, Casper will take him down, but now all eyes on Little. Needs to find 3 frags here to hold this one off, otherwise he will be finding his death. And, well, he finds the first, tagging him away with the pistol, trying to stay alive, goes for the second, but Config will launch back, takes him down, delivering a headshot straight to his cranium.
Yeah, this leaves just 3 players trying to defend this one off. We have a push over towards shore. Again, MSL just seems to love the sandbags position. Hides there in case there is any sort of rotation, just holding that one off. Cajun is looking over towards the A site with the AWP, and then we see Config rotating all the way back around with the bomb. Of course, there's plenty of time, so they don't have to worry just yet about any sort of decisions being made over to what site they're going, but it looks like Cajun's just trying to play the fake game here. Chopper, he's not going to be moving at all, and actually Kutcher, rather than taking the bait, he's going to completely ignore it and push over towards the B site. This leaves them with very little time, or actually quite a bit of time to play with, but little time to actually get onto the site and take these frags. Either way, Kutcher will manage to get the kill. The bomb's going to be going down pretty damn comfortably, and the rotation has to make its move. Needs to pull around. They've going to be waiting. I feel like Kutcher's quite a smart player when it comes to timing. Spaz, though, he's completely blind, manages to get away with the first as Cajun B misses the shot, but it's not going to happen again as Config takes him down. Now Kutcher, 1 versus 1. Cajun B switched over to the Tech 9, the Rec 9, and should just finish this one off, and he will.
He's going to do just that, but I've got to say, I've spotted out another thing that's not quite something I agree with Tom, and it's going to be the fact that MSL pushed right into the site with no flashes, no smokes, even though he had a flash and a smoke right in his back pocket there, and he used the smoke towards the end of things, throw it down to secure that bomb site and make sure that it was, you know, nice and smoked off so that someone could just dip in and plant the bomb. But if you throw 1 flash out, the potential for him to find that frag and walk away with just a little bit less damage would have been so much more existence. Perhaps those small kinks in the play that could just mean if they can get those intricacies on point, get away with situations just a little bit less affected, I guess you can say, from the NokSuKao household.
He did use it later on, so I don't know.
He
It's
died
sort
with the
of that
flash,
balance.
but he kept the smoke.
Yeah, the flashbang probably should have been used, but I suppose he just had confidence. That's all I can really say in that one. He will go again just using that SMG. Maybe MSL is just the information player, and in this round he's definitely doing just that, trying to do what he can with the SMG. He's going to rush in, try and take this AWP back out of the hands of Chopper, who is running for the hills. Spaz will manage to hit a headshot, and MSL going to do just that, save the AWP. He really does play well in those sort of eco rounds with the SMG. And 7-3, well, we haven't even really touched upon the scoreline. It's pretty damn good for Dignitas on the T side of this map.
A great way for them to kick things off. Of course, they're going to have their heart pounding. They know they don't want to be dropping this map. This would be, out of the 3 games they've got today, perhaps, statistically speaking, one of the worst series for them to drop. If not one of the worst series for them to drop in a little while, going into, you know, some of the most recent games they've been playing. So at this point, you've got to say, you know, not only their heart, but just the way they play in general, it's going to be just really kicking them in the teeth and saying, you guys, you've got to wake up, you've got to bring something new to the table. And especially when you have your coach and serve with you, it's going to be that extra bit of added pressure because it's not the voice standing behind you this time, it's the voice sitting around right next to you.
Yeah, we're going to see the build-up onto that B site at the moment with 1 lurker in the form of Casper, just waiting for any sort of rotation that is coming in. But you can already see some huge aggression coming out towards toilets from the CT side, and soon they may realize it's going to be a hit towards the B site. They already have 3 players in position and waiting. The AWP is onto Little as well, and if he rotates over and can hold this down. But it seems like Dignitas, they're just trying to exploit a weakness, and that weakness seems to be the B site. They've had the majority of their rounds over towards this position. MSL going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Flashbang's going to be raining in counter, but so far all the damage is just coming in onto those CT players. We see nearly all of them low on HP, and now they've got a retake versus 5, and the likelihood of this happening is getting slimmer and slimmer by the second as players are cleaned up. Config finds 2. Cajun manages to grab 1, and Electronic now trying to make some sort of savior here with Kutcher by his side. They're doing a little bit of a job, but Cajun and Magic's close things out. A pretty damn good round from Dignitas, taking a site even when the majority of players were there, and that's going to be the half going their way already, and maybe there needs to be a pause.
Pause certainly could be an interesting factor here. But to be honest, I don't think we're quite going to be seeing it from the NokSuKao side. They're not necessarily the most frequent players to whip out those pauses. You know, we saw it from Kutcher before. He tends to leave it much later than this. And an 8-3 scoreline, albeit is pretty bad, I don't think it's going to be that trigger point for them just yet, of course, with rolling to the 12th round. Just a couple more rounds to go in this first half here, and well, we are going to be looking to see if NokSuKao are going to clean things back and bring back a couple more rounds at least to try and get maybe a 9-6. It's going to be MSL open things up with finds himself 1, Magic going to find himself 1 respectively, looking to make it 2. He will do just that. Dye is trying to pull off the 3rd though. Kutcher will take him down, but has he done enough? I think he's done just that. Kutcher, the last man standing. He has picked up a rifle. He's got a smoke and a flash and a 5-7 to play with. Looking for another frag though, but Config is there, ready to meet him, cut him off right where he stands, and that's going to be it. He's going to be hitting the deck. Dignitas are going to pick up another round.
Yeah, 9 rounds. They're already dominating on that T side. The only sort of glimmer of hope for NokSuKao is that their CT sides haven't been on point as of yet. Haven't seen anything too impressive. And on Mirage, that was a bit of a problem. On Nuke, we didn't see too much, although they managed to win the half just about. Either way, I'm still pretty worried at the moment for the CIS team, as they're now trying to fight back from a pretty detrimental situation. Already see Cajun going very aggressive. May have got his mouse caught a little bit there, but luckily for him, he just has the player of config who's going absolutely ham at this stage. He finds his 3rd headshot, just pushing around, killing everybody on the opposition team. And while he's got Magix up beside him this time, both players are just playing magnificently well.
Great stuff coming out here. They are just playing their heart out, so they know how important this series is. And they've left it right down to the wire to kick off, but it's about damn time. And we're seeing Electronic, the last man standing. He's going to be hitting the deck. MSL will pick up 2 frags towards the end of that one for himself. We get ourselves a 10-3 scoreline that will present itself. And, well, this is the Dignitas that we wanted to see. This is them not necessarily stepping up, but more just waking up in a slight fashion.
The thing for me as well is this is what we expected in terms of the 4 players in the lineup are all fragging consistently, and it's the coach this time who's falling behind, which is more of a reasonable scenario than the first map where we saw, okay, Casper's actually doing quite a bit of work, and it's the rest of the players that aren't stepping up. So may have just taken them a little bit of time to get rolling. Also, I feel like Overpass is a pretty strong map for just Danish players in general. It's a Astralis favorite. We've seen Magisk play this map many a time. SK, or now known as Team X, or whatever you want to call them, have also been playing phenomenally. But either way, it's looking like a 4 versus 4 so far. And, well, in terms of the actual round and the purchase itself, still favouring the T side.
Just going to be the flashes rolling out towards mid there. A couple of interesting debates being taken place. You can definitely see that Kutcher's just not quite sure if what he's doing is working out. Molotov going to be failing slightly there. Now a couple of Frank can be rolling. Config will pick up little. Seems to be just another round that's going to go quickly in the favour of the Dignitas side. NokSuKao don't appear to have a response anymore, Tom.
But they don't have a response to Config.
Well, that's pretty much it. Electronic will find 1 frag on towards Cajun B, though. Brings it back to a 2v3. So if they want to take this round, the opportunity is certainly there. But at this point, it's a game of tug of war, and the rope is well and truly not in their favour. And we're going to be seeing them just go for the safe here. They're going to be taking those rifles, or that 1 rifle and that 1 AWP, into the last round, the 15th round of that. And it looks like we're going to be seeing an 11-3 entering the ball line for Dignitas. A very great start from them. We really can't knock them at all. The 12-3 perhaps still a possibility.
There should have been a pause. 100% should have been a pause. I don't agree with saving it till later if the problem is there now. This is a CT-sided map. The T-side have won this one in one of the most convincing fashions I've seen in quite a while, and something needed to be changed here. Someone needed to make the call, and a lot of it, again, is you're looking at those players, Spaz and Chopper, not in the server at all. Electronic this time not carrying the way, and in fact it's Kutcher who's leading at the moment, and that's not really what you want to be seeing. We saw Little have a few moments with the AWP, but not anything to really rave about, and ultimately it's come down to the fact that Dignitas players have just been better. Config for sure has just gone off the chain. Magisk is stepping up now on a map I feel like he is much better suited for, or much more confident on, and MSL and Cajun are still just chugging along with the fragging capabilities.
Electronic trying his best, finds a beautiful spray down there, picks up 2 frags. MSL looking to make the best of this, but Electronic finds a 3rd. Just flying off of the handle this round, actually, making sure that Dignitas can't walk away with a 12-3 half. It's now just 2 players left alive, Casper and Cajun B. The last 2 men standing for this terrorist side. The last time they are going to be visiting this terrorist side, of course, as we are towards the end of this half. It all comes down now. Will they be hitting the shots? They have been spotted out by Chopper. He knows they are there. He's going to be spamming away with the fans, looking to do some damage there. The spray down will present itself, and it's actually going to be Casper delivering the killing blow.
He is supposed to be a player in this team. We saw Chopper have the same problem on the last map, and well, on the last map I feel like it was more of a factor because the map was so very close. On this map, I don't think there's really anyone that's going too ham. Config, he's still having his moments as we saw in the last round, but now going into that first pistol, or second pistol I should say, it's actually going to be straight Kevlar all the way across the board.
Great way to kick things off there, and we're looking at MSL some quick aggressive frags here, but it will be Config finding himself 1, MSL finding himself 1 as well. But then Kutcher now finding this one back, finds himself finally a frag for the NokSuKao side, but will it be enough? A 3 versus 4 situation. Electronic going to be barreling up towards Cajun, be looking to take him down, but Cajun is not having any of it. He's going to be tapping away, Magic going to be tapping away, and Dignitas are going to walk away with a very decisive CT side pistol round.
Yeah, they've started off exactly as they wanted to continue. You can see the big posters for the StarSeries Like I do like all this little stuff. It warms my heart to see it. Either way, straight SMGs across the board at the moment on the CT side. A risk with obvious rewards of making extra money. Not so much with the P90. You still get the same money as a rifle, and it's expensive weapon in itself. Either way, we have a scout and armor onto Little, which is another sacrifice being taken by Kutcher, which I'm not too sure is the best scenario at this case, as he's been the best player for their team, which really doesn't say too much, but still takes a lot out of his hands at this moment in time. Electronic going to be pushing. He's going to get caught in a crossfire between MSL and Cajun, and now we have the long push coming out. And this is the only real scenario where I feel it could benefit the NokSuK side, because they have that scout and there's no real long-range weapons. The only problem is they're just not going to go aggressive towards long. They'll play the more passive sort of scenarios, wait for them to push around quarters, and yeah, then the pistols have a bit more of an advantage, but those SMGs are just going to be able to spam away.
Such a key factor indeed, and we are seeing a little bit of long pressure being dished out from the NokSuKao side. They're trying their best. Scout will find itself a tag. Magic will get knocked down to just 32 HP. But MSL going to be clawing this one back. He's got the SMG in hand, finds a frag onto what's Spaz, looking to up the tempo here, of course. So we now see them just creeping their way up, step by step now. They're going to be peeking out config. Going to be like really just playing with death there. Doesn't quite get tagged down. We'll find a frag on Kutcher. Will eventually drop there as config now going to be hitting the deck as well.
Ah, the flanks there is over. No chance for Little. He managed to hit a tag. That was about it, and that scout investment really didn't seem to come across as worth it. Casper still down the bottom at the moment, but as said, if they win, I don't think they're really going to care. And, well, he's the coach. Can't really expect him to be good at all of the maps. Either way, it seems to be working out for the remainder of the players, as we now see Little buying up a bit of armor behind his pistol, which means the likelihood of an AWP has just become even slimmer going into this next round. I'm not sure I completely agree with this factor, but it's getting to the point where, well, if he may not even get an AWP at all. We're going to see Cajun go for a bit of an aggressive peek, and it will be a dink taken onto his head, meaning that now he is low, but he's done pretty much the same amount of damage onto his predecessor, or counterpart, I should say, Little.
Magic looking to do some damage for himself. We'll find one looking to make it 2, of course. Tagging away with a pistol as well. Playing up close and personal. Takes down the bomb. Looking to make it 3. He will do just that. Little trying his best. But it's a little hard. Not going to be enough. He's got a PQ 15 hands spamming away, but he's going to be hitting the deck. We're going to find ourselves at a 14-4. Just 2 rounds away from Dignitas ending this third map in a very decisive fashion. We've seen 2 very close maps before, but now we're seeing a much more lopsided map, I guess you can say.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and picked this next time, because they have been a force on this map. Yes, Casper has been suffering, but it seems like the team setup is just so much naturally better, and they're even going to be picking up a double AWP. Config feeling very confident at the moment. Magix is going to be the one going aggressive very early on, and well, it looks like we're just going to see a very quick B play coming out. Config with the AWP is going to have to quickly reposition himself. Not going to find the second shot, and Electronic opening up. Casper, he's going to get taken down. The P90 not that great at hitting instant kills. However, MSL is in position. He's managed to get himself one. He needs to wait for his teammates to rotate in before he can really do too much more. Gets tagged down to just 2 HP, and he's keeping the peak going. Actually, Magic is going to get taken down in the meantime, and now Cajun, well, he's going to be the main factor here. 1 HP. Somehow the nade's not finishing off MSL. He's managing to stay alive, and we'll actually grab one more. This is a little bit ridiculous from the in-game leader. He's going to switch over to that AWP. He used to be the AWPer for this team. Never really given the sort of props maybe he deserved, and he's going to get taken out. Now Cajun's position is low. He can try and go for this defuse, but they know exactly where he is. What was that from Electronic? Praising him all the way through the game. That was a really big miss. And now Spaz is going to peek out. How on earth has Cajun got away with that? So many decisions that have to be punished, or were punished. And I don't know how that happened. So many ridiculous plays. MSL, he got away with way too much, and now Cajun does the same.
I think at this point I'm going to go out and say it is all over. NokSuKao, they are broken, left shattered in pieces. And I think we're going to be seeing the beginning of the end here, or if not the end of the end, because Dignitas, they are on the last round series point. 1 more round is required for Dignitas to walk away with this first series. They cut it very, very close. And now this is the Dignitas we wanted to see. This is them whipping out that hammer, slapping it down on the table, and making it happen. We're looking at Cajun being able to try to find a pick with the AWP to kick this one off there. Nothing going to present itself just yet. Little going to be edging his way up nice and close there. He'll actually find himself one, looking for Tanya second, but Magic will take him down, but now Electronic stepping up to the plate, takes down Magic. The trade's rolling backwards and forwards here. This is R on the back foot. Casper, Config, and himself still standing, and we've seen those players go huge before. He's certainly good place again.
Config now back on the AWP. We saw him find 1 kill before. The rotation going very heavily over towards the B site, meaning that the the A site, sorry, meaning the B site is completely open. But the T's, they're going all the way over. We see the rotation coming very quickly from Casper. He's got to try and do something here. If he can find one, that should be enough. But it's actually going to be Spaz finding the kill. The battle of the bottom fraggers comes out with Spaz on top. This leaves MSL and Config to try and go for this retake. The position from Config isn't a bad one. Unfortunately, the smoke is going to leave him in a horrible position. Caught with a nade in hand, also going to take down MSL. And now, well, Config really, he just has to save. There's nothing he can really hope to achieve in this scenario. They don't have a huge amount of money after losing all of their players in the previous round. And although it would be a highlight clip for him to try and make, he's found that frag. I feel like now all he can do is fall back and make sure he's out of sort of range of the bomb.
The key factor, looking to save that AWP at least into the 21st round. They can just, you do have 15 rounds, but there's still potential for NokSuKao to pick up the next 10. You don't want to write it off completely. I'm never going to go with the 100% chance, Tom, because we've seen
the smoke towards it.
I'm not going to answer the smoke question because, frankly put, no idea. But there is always potential for NokSuKao to try and claw this one back. They can't risk anything to chance. We've seen this series go so close. They need to
we saw
end it out
as well. Ents versus MK. We've seen how a team can pull back a ridiculous amount of rounds. Maybe not so much 10 rounds in a row on the T side of Overpass. That would be quite a hefty ask either way, but you can see they're not going to take this too aggressive. Just going to go with a bit of a save here. Possibly going to have a buy up in the next round with an extra 1900 added onto their current money. It won't be the best buy by any stretch, but it will be something for them to play with. Of course, they still have Config with an AWP into this round alone, so that's something for them to play with. Casper will go aggressive, trying to add a frag to his minuscule collection, but MSL will manage to get the trade. Spaz is quickly in position here. Cajun is up behind him, and he's going to hit that shot as well. Spaz stepping up, finding a couple of frags, finding a couple of eco frags, and of course confidence is a big thing for him as well. If he can find that, maybe there's a chance they can actually bring this one back. But Config, he has other ideas. He's going to be shutting down two. He's actually making this more of a possibility if he hits his shot onto Spaz, who is still in a very aggressive position. They actually have a chance now. Electronic somehow got into a position where all of his teammates have just run in and died. He sat on the side thinking, what on earth are you doing, guys? Magisk, he's nowhere really to be seen, but, well, the other factor is Config. He's picked up the AK now pushing into the site. He does have a kit, but he has to do this so very quickly, looking for the play. It seems like Electronic has done this perfectly. I don't think he has enough time, and Config will go down.
A huge way for that round to unfold, but I do want to give credit to Dignitas. They did exactly what I wanted them to do very early on that one. They didn't go for the all-in buy. They didn't risk it all. Because we see so many teams do that, Tom. We see them just constantly, okay, again, we're behind, we're only one round away. Let's just keep on forcing. Eventually we'll pick up a round. Surely that's totally how it works. In this case, that's not what we're seeing. And Dignitas are proving that even when they go for those saves and only whip out the AWP, they get so close to walking away with the round.
If I was Electronic right there, I'd be screaming. Like, absolutely screaming. Just like, why have you refaced an AWP 3 times and 3 of you have just died to that one play? Yes, there was a dink coming out from Magisk as well. Playing with an AWP. Let's keep facing. Just absolute madness. And if they'd found him just seconds earlier, that would have been a round going the other way. So very scared in that factor for the NokSuKao side. Of course, they do have 2 matches coming up in the next couple of days, but it's not going to be... Well, they're not going to be feeling that good considering, well, especially they could have taken this map in 2 quite easily. And now they're making sort of mistakes that they should even nearly lose to sort of pistols and an AWP.
Occasionally he's got the hammers in hand looking for a few frags here. He can find the both if he can pull it off, but it seems like he's not going to do it. Kutcher will find the trade frag eventually. The occasion did pick off little. We find ourselves back to that 4v4 situation. We have an inkling that Dignitas want to finally end it here. But is it going to be enough? The Molotov's going to be raining down. Kutcher looking to take full control of the A site. As the bomb going to be well and truly abandoned. Back towards back of long there, and Casper going to be taking that one full advantage. There is no bomb to go down because Casper will take down Kutcher. And now they have the perfect opportunity to go for a rotate. The problem is that bomb is quite a hefty way away from Connector.
Yeah, and well, that's already the advantage back to the CT side. Magic has to be careful here. He's going to drop it as well into toilets. Now he falls back. They know exactly where this is coming in. The push is pushing without a bomb. Electronic, he can try and go for a pick here, but it's ultimately to no prevail. They've got 20 seconds to go retrieve the bomb, get back to the site and plant it. The chances of that happening is so very slim, especially with Magisk finding one more. Electronic, he's got to go towards the A site here. I don't think he has the time to do anything else. He's going to have to find his kills very, very quickly. He will manage to get the first. MSL is just waiting, and the second he goes for this plant, MSL's just going to peek out and finish off the game. Nice work from Dignitas. A much more convincing win, and that was the sort of map that we expected to see from them earlier on.
A great way for that one to be closed out, of course. I'm glad it eventually came. I was getting a little bit worried. We were all sitting on the edge of our seats about how that series would unfold because it went so close. But Tom, let's take a look at our stars because overall, Config, for example...
Just from that map alone, he brought that all the way back. But yeah, Electronic was the one that I feel was probably the best player in the series consistently wise, but that is the Config factor. Sometimes he can just go off. In terms of actual KD, we see Madrisk doing very well. Clearly that consistent fragger. Little definitely fell off in my eyes, and well, nice bang in the middle, you've got the in-game leader, so not something you see too often.
A great first series, of course, of Magic, but now we'll take a look at the standings. Not too much to talk about, aside from the fact that Dignitas, they've ushered in their first 3 points,
Yeah,
as well as NokSuKao. They've taken their first loss. All they need is one more victory to get themselves from...
Sort of. They're basically, if you get to 6, you're almost guaranteed qualification, as long as like somebody wins a map along the way. Either way, they're going to be feeling pretty happy with that one. We are going to be back with some more Dignitas games in just a moment versus AGG, and following that, we will have them versus Team X for that Danish duel. Either way, we're going to have a little bit of a break. We'll probably be back in a short amount of time.